Hi Sloths, and welcome back to Ebon Light. This is the fourth episode in the Let's Play, and I've kind of decided that at the start of every episode we'll have a look at the stat screen. And I also had, in between this the last episode and this episode, I had a look at what virtue is to do with. And when I came back, I also noticed amity, and I can explain amity and virtue now. First, we'll start with virtue, since that's the one that I forgot to cover last time. And that basically means that you choose options where you have a high moral sort of compass and standards, and if you choose options that do not have, if you just have low standards, it's just going to get more and more negative. Blah 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 blah. That's pretty obvious. Amity is the sort of nice version of Discord where things are, starting to be more peaceful and stuff. As you can see, our Discord has gone from kind of meh to amity, and that's because we are now currently in a more safe environment, and we're not just being kidnapped. I mean, we are still being kidnapped and taken somewhere, but we met a guy an elf, Vadine Millerose, and we also met Caliper Millerose, which is the commander of the ship, and she's quite nice, and so is Vadine. And we also, I don't know if you noticed, but Doubt is really a deep orangey red sort of at the minute. And we currently and I think that's because we decided not, I don't know actually. I'm not entirely sure why we're so doubtful. I don't know what caused that. I really don't. But hopefully in the future we can be less doubtful and more optimistic. Or maybe not, because I'm not really an optimistic kind of person. Anyway, let's just get right into the episode, I suppose. In the last episode, we climbed aboard the Bastion, which is the Gha'alian ship. We met a couple more elves, and in this episode, we are going currently to our bed, the hammock room. And we are about to meet a very fan favourite, which I will see. It is a fan favourite elf, and another romantic route that we can go down. But we'll see him when we see him. Anyway, the ship's innards weren't anything like I'd have imagined. It was so dark and almost impossible to see anything. Yeah, that's because they don't really allow torches and fires on a boat, because it's made of wood. You kind of have to feel around until you get to where you need to be. You can find it now, can't you? I really shouldn't go any further. Privacy and all. He's a nice guy. He really is. Sometimes he's a little bit too nice, but If you need anything, I have to get back to duty, but truly, this is foreboding. Can you tell me more about Gallia? Tell me more about yourself, Lacey. I don't need anything. Definitely tell me more about Gallia. Can you tell me more about Gallia, you people? I have no idea where I'm going. He gave a heavy sigh. I can tell you that Gallia is a dark place, and that we don't welcome outsiders, I'm afraid. Things will be very difficult for you. That's not... can you tell me something a bit more specific? What food... what food do you eat there? Because if I personally go, on holiday, to a different country or something, the first thing I look at is, what's the food like? Because I just love food. And if it's something, a place that's really common for seafood, there's not really going to be a lot of things there that I could eat and try, because I despise seafood with a burning passion. It's Gross. Hate it. Anything that comes out of the sea, or a river, or the ocean, just automatically no thanks. It's just a whole lot of ew, no, I do not like fish. Gha'alian is a small island. We live in one primary city with a very dense population, completely encircled in a fortress wall. We are known for our forces, an army that enlists more than 2/3 of our population. We are essentially mercenaries. Though be mindful who you repeat that to, because some people don't like being called mercenaries or assassins or murderers, and they will in turn murder your face off. Most Gha'alians don't appreciate the term, like I just said. No word. I wish I could think of how to prepare you. This is foreboding. Tell me more about yourself, Lazy. Yeah, tell me more about yourself. You seem nice. Well, tell me about yourself then. Me? Well, I'm I'm a scout in the forces, 1st Division. Is that like what Lacey is? Yes, exactly what Lacyga is. Do you know the commander? The commander? Oh yes, she and I are cousins. We were born within weeks of each other. We're close. You'll find a lot of family speckled across the chain of command. Yeah, that's because your family kind of own the chain of command, literally. Does that mean you're important? Oh, no, not at all. Self-doubt, you are important. You should love yourself more. Tell me about Lacey. You knew Lacey was involved with my arrival? I saw the two of you arrive, yes. You noticed me come on board then. I'm still in shock about all that happened. You must really hate him. We don't really... I mean, we've only sort of, like, seen snippets of, like, his hatred for Lacyga. But we don't really know for sure that he does. I mean, I do, but the character doesn't. Still in shock about all that happened. We don't really need to talk about that. So, you notice me come on board then. Now, is that because you play words? Now, is that because you pay close attention to everything Lacey does, or is it because... yeah. Well, you don't look like you're a part of the forces, so he looked a little caught off guard. Didn't really see that one coming, did he? This is foreboding. So dark in here, and so Gha'alian decorating. I believe we see better in the dark than your people do. You must... It's all just a haze. Perhaps your eyes will adjust. People say that, but I don't really know if that's true. Do your eyes adjust the more that you spend in the dark, or is it just always going to be dark? That's a scientific article I should really have a look at. Anyway, more than my eyes are just going to need to adjust. I don't need anything else, apparently. I understand. Take care. Take care in a place like this? No thanks. Left alone for the first time since morning, instead down the narrow pathway before me. This is really quiet. I don't know if my headphones are messing up, but this sounds... the music itself sounds very quiet. I'm just going to ignore the lack of sound for now, because I'm sure it's coming through fine for you, but not through my headphones for some reason. I could do with a new headset. A proper one, not this crappy gaming headset that I got with my computer. I've had this for like 6 months, 7 months, and it's just sort of the wire doesn't seem to want to work properly. If you hold it in a certain position, everything just cuts out, and if you hold it in other certain positions, it kind of brings the sound back. So I think that's kind of what's going on here, but I'm not entirely sure. It might just be quiet for the time being, I don't know. Left alone for the first time since morning, I stared down the narrow pathway before me. Well, what I could see of it anyway. It seemed far less busy down here, but occasionally I'd feel the movements of others around me. I I eventually found the chamber Radin had told me about. I was starting to see better. Perhaps my eyes had been adjusting after all. It didn't help that Gha'alian seemed intent on keeping everything in shades of black. I mean, black is kind of a really nice colour. It goes with everything. I mean, you're kind of wearing sort of like a grey-black sort of top there, with a red top underneath. I don't know. Oof. Excuse me. Though it was early in the evening, all the hammocks I could see were filled. The sleeping elves were, as far as I could tell, all female. But one. We'll see him in a moment. I scanned the hammocks for a while, searching for an empty one. It was difficult to tell from where I stood, but I thought I spotted one in the third row. There was also an awake elf who'd been staring at me since I entered. I'm just going to ignore the elf and check on the third row. I decided to move toward the third row and get a better look at the hammock I thought to be empty. Weaving in between hammocks felt like tiptoeing around sleeping beasts, and to my great dismay, when I came to the third row, I discovered that the hammock I thought to be empty was not. I began carefully making my way further, but when I heard someone snickering, I turned toward the noise, somewhat against my better judgment. I couldn't figure out where the snickering had come from at first, but then I saw movement off to my left. Shh. The elf caught my gaze and shushed me, confirming any suspicions I had that he was indeed not meant to be here. Yes, it is a he, and his name is Haron, or Haron, however you want to pronounce it. Shame. Whatever, not my business. As for finding it. Yes, shame. Let's shame a bastard. I mean, he's peeping on women. Shame. I crossed my arms and, sporting an expression directly inherited from Vanya, I silently shamed him with my gaze. These were the women's hammocks, after all. The nuisance. The elf looked entirely unrepentant, vaguely amused as he began sneaking away before the situation could elevate further. What a pervert. When he was completely gone, I began to resume my search for a hammock. I found an empty one in short time. I was left alone for the rest of the night. Those around me seemed to sleep soundly, as though theirs was a hard-earned slumber. I didn't seem to concern them. Come morning, I had gotten little sleep, and I'm gonna quickly check compendium. I think. Okay, virtue seems to have gone up. Doubt has not changed. Amity has changed. It has gone up slightly. Daring, charity, might has not changed. And I think rest went up a very small and tiny amount. Anyway, let's carry on. I couldn't stop wondering about the Coffin Tall and what it might do to me. The hopeful part of me had rendered the Coffin Tall physically innocuous, if only because it had been a day and a half and I was still fine. Oh, just you wait. But there were parts of me that also recognised my situation aboard a massive ship, destined for a place I'd never been, filled with a people I'd never seen, would remember that there must be a reason for all this. There simply had to be a reason Lacey dragged me aboard, a reason he was sent to find the Covental in the first place. If nothing else, I was tangled tight in a web I could barely understand. Around the time the elves who had been sleeping when I first arrived were waking up, laying still with only my wonderings had become too much to bear. I quietly snuck out of my hammock and made my way back into the hall, the deep dark hall of nothingness. The hall was busier than it had been the evening prior. That's probably because it's like the daytime and everyone's up and about and busy. Anyway, the majority of the elves were moving in one specific direction, deeper into the ship's hold, for some reason. The jumbled sounds of the elves speaking to each other hit me with a realization their language was not my own. We can't understand their own language, but the others seem to be quite well versed, I'd say, in whatever our language is, presumably some form of English. It shouldn't have come as a surprise, but it did. Perhaps it was because the elves I'd spoken to so far all know my language. But now that I was giving it some thought, that was very strange. Follow a majority of elves deeper into ship, or go back up to the deck. I guess we'll be a little bit more curious and go and see where the elves are going. I decided to follow the elves and see where they were all headed. Sorry about that, just took a quick drink. Ugh. The elves themselves didn't seem to notice my presence. I blended in seamlessly, so long as I kept moving. We'd only walked a little deeper into the ship before a scent began to fill the air. Food. Even elves have to eat, it would seem. Food. I could do with some food. I'm starving. I'm always hungry though. I'm a bit of a glutton in that sense. The smell was coming from a dark room lined with narrow tables. It was crammed full of noisy, hungry soldiers. Though it was difficult to pick out faces in a cramped hive of identically dressed elves, I spotted Commander Calipoa in the crowd. And there she is with some guy with more scars on his face. Yeah, she has like a scar there and there. I think she must have been like slashed across the mouth like that. Or like that. I imagine it'd be that way because the cut is deeper there and cuts kind of go outwards, kind of. It's like stab, swoop. And then there it must have been like swoop, and then swoop, and then swoop. I don't know. I'm just following the lines of scars for some stupid reason. I began to approach her cautiously, eavesdropping on the conversation, which I guess that probably filled our curiosity meter up a little bit. Let's have a quick look. I think so. I think that's definitely larger than before. Let's go back. And I began to approach. Oh, I already said that. She was having with a small crowd of other elves. Not that I could actually understand what they were saying. Oh, it's the human. Did you get any sleep? I didn't manage to escape her notice long. A little, which is true. We did only get a little bit. A little lie anyway. That's not a lie because we did actually get some sleep. It said that we got little sleep, so that was not a lie. That is, I doubt you're watching this, but if Underbliss, the creator of Underbliss, well, I think Underbliss is actually one person. I think it's a team of one person. If it is, they did a brilliant job working on this game all by themselves. But yeah, I think the creator of Underbliss, I can't remember her or his name. I can't remember if it's even male or female, which I apologise for that. But if you're watching this, which I very highly doubt, that is kind of a little lie to the little lie section because it did say before that we did get little sleep, and now we're saying that we didn't get any sleep. I don't know. It's just literally just wrong. I hate being so critical sometimes because they did fantastic work all on their own and it's very commendable, but still. Anyway, this guy is supposed to be called Chandler Maceros, and he's, I don't think he's in the compendium, not that I know of anyway. Also, this purple meter, I think it is basically for all the stuff that's supposed to be in the compendium. Depending on which what you say, which options you take, and which route you take, you get different people in your compendium and places and lore and stuff. Not entirely sure about that. I could be wrong, but no, he does not appear to be in the thing. That's kind of because he's not really a main character like these people, even though some of them get very, very, very little screen time, like Rylan and Vanya. Anyway, Commander, this human. But the other Chandler would have to answer that. Wait, what? I'm confused. Wait, that's a little lie anyway. Commander, this human. But the other Chandler would have to answer that. Wait, what? That does not make any sense. I'm gonna ignore that. The other... the Onyx? Okay, I'm just confused about that whole thing. I think it just went straight over my head. I don't know. That's for one. She's a special request of his. The tone in the curious elf's voice suddenly went sour. He and the rest of the little crowd that had formed around Calipoa began to disperse, though not before sending me glances as though I carried the plague, like a sort of look. I just realised you can't even see my face, so never mind. Sorry, something I said. What was that? Yeah, let's be a bit daring, like, what the fuck was that all about? Why are you leaving? Why are they leaving? It has more to do with the Onyx Chandler's influence. Don't take it personally. I scoffed, like a I think that's what a scoff is. It's sort of like a sort of noise. I don't really know. Where was I? Oh yeah. If you're here to eat, help yourself. No one is going to stop you. I nodded, and so it seemed I wouldn't starve. Well, that's good. I don't like starving. Starving is not good. Starving's not fun. Never literally starved before, but I imagine it's not fun. Well, maybe not. I wasn't picky, but I hadn't yet to see exactly what elves ate. Hopefully not. Well, it's not cannibalism if they're elves, is it? Chin up. Make yourself at home. You might find we grow on you. I think Badine's around here somewhere. The commander took her leave after that. Not wanting to make a spectacle of myself, I followed the flow of the elves around the room. Stay a while longer. Yeah, let's stay a while longer. I mean, I kind of want to eat. If we could eat, that'd be great. I had to circle a second time before I spot him. Vadine? He was sitting at one of the packed tables. The look on his face told me he was very surprised to see me. I watched him hesitate, then stand and make his way toward me. Then I watched an elf swoop like a vulture into his spot. Yep. Gotta steal those tables. Gotta steal those seats. Are you alright? Shouldn't have given up your seat. You do ask that a lot, don't you? Yeah, you do ask that a lot, don't you? You're beginning to make a habit of asking me that. I'm sorry. You seem to apologise a lot. I think I'm just trying to avoid doing anything that'll make your situation worse. I mean, I don't mean to be a pest. I can't imagine how you're coping. Yeah, we're coping surprisingly well. Coping better than you. You're not a pest. I appreciate it. It is getting annoying. I personally get sick of people asking me if I'm okay. So I'm going to go for this one. Especially my grandparents. They ask me that all the time. If I spend a day with them, they just non-stop keep asking me if I'm okay. It does get annoying, and then it just gets awkward. I'm coping, so you can stop asking. Right. I'm sorry. And can you stop apologising, for fuck's sake? It's getting really annoying. As you say. And let me just say one last time. Is there anything I can do to help? let me know. Oh, if there's anything. Oh, yeah. And then we just magically teleport to the deck. Great. Oh, it's moving and I don't like it. Ugh. It's making me feel like crap. As I've already mentioned, I get seasick like really easily, so just watching this is it's making my stomach churn a little bit. Ugh. Hence why I've got something to drink. A little bit of drink to keep the thing down. Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I found myself on the deck after that. Inside the ship, everything was tight and packed up. Up here it was tight and packed. You just kind of said that. I'm going to ignore that because you just said that. This is Harem Millerose. This is the creep in the hammock room. You are a very strange woman. What a dick. Literally. It took me a second to recognise him, but it was definitely the elf from the hammocks. I could only hazard a guess, okay, at what he wanted with me. His expression was considerably less angry and stoic than most of the other elves. He seemed curious. I recognise you, what do you want? The women's hammock, eh? That's curious. What is? The man I find snaking through women's quarters is now calling me strange. Oh, that's not so strange. Nothing compared to what you've done. What do you mean? Let me ask you something. Have you noticed anything odd? Sensory changes? Noises? Feelings? Answer honestly, fish for information. Yeah, let's fish for information. Maybe. Can you be more specific? Do I need to be? Most people don't consider odd noises, sensory changes, or very unusual sensations to be at all mundane. I'm not currently living my regular life, as you can obviously tell. This I'll submit. How about colours? You never noticed in quite the same shade before? Odd noises you can't place. The eerie weight of an unseen, unnatural presence. Perhaps the feeling of shedding your skin. That's creepy as all hell. What? What are you talking about? I suppose no. Harem. And this is the guy, Ernol Millerose. Ernol was my first choice, or was my first route, should I say. He's brilliant, by the way. I love Ernol. I'm a big Ernol fan. But I'm not going to be playing Ernol's route during this, because this is like my second playthrough of this game, so I kind of want to do something different. And it will also be a fresh experience not only for me, but for you as well. You're not supposed to be up here, Harem. Yeah, I don't really know what voice to give him. All these voices are very similar. I apologise for that, but I'm not very good at voice acting. Yet another elf approached. It prompted a sigh from the first. This is what you call inconspicuous? Couldn't at least try to blend in? Calipoa gave me permission not to make an ass of yourself. He's pretty, like, straight on there. He doesn't like Harren getting into trouble. Not at all. Then the new elf seemed to finally realise I existed, and he seemed confused. What? What? Who are you? Why are you? If you thought I was charming, Madrili, just wait until you get to know Ernol. My brother has the grace of an elephant, and I absolutely love it. He's a playboy. He's just always brilliant. He, like Harren said, he's got the grace of an elephant. He has no idea. He's very, I can't think of a word. I'm sure I'll remember it at some point. Why is this human aboard the Bastion, Harren. I'll have you know I'm not thrilled about it either. You would have to ask Lysaga for details. It seems Delier has commissioned her presence. Why? I'm sure he has a reason. Not that he needs one. You already have the one human trophy. Okay, apparently we have a human trophy. She's not human, she's half... that doesn't matter. What does Delier want with this human? I focused my attention on first off Harren, who seemed to know something he wasn't telling. Unfortunately, his attention was focused on me in return. Both of us stayed silent, willing the other to speak first. For the love of the heart, this is not the time or place. If neither of you care to explain, both of you need to get off the deck, especially you, Harren. John Covington, I don't know anything. Yeah, let's just be like, no, I have no idea what you're on about. Steel myself. I don't have the faintest clue what Delier or the Onyx Chandler want with me. They're the same person, I figured. Ernol gave Harren an expectant stare. I don't know why I'm talking in Ernol's voice right now. Ernol gave Harren an expectant stare, and with the both of us silently waiting for him to show his hand, he eventually caved. From what I'd heard, she has some connection with the ancient Marrows. Covington, he found some? It seems he has. But ask yourself why that would take the form of a human. Ernol turned his gaze to me, both brothers staring at me. I felt extremely uncomfortable. I don't blame you. She can't be hiding it. It's possible she doesn't know she's hiding it, but I think that she can't retrieve it. I had a feeling that this Harren knew what happened, but he seemed to want me to say it and confirm it first. Sure, let's give him the satisfaction of it. I accidentally drank it. We thought it was spice, and then it was too late. That is true. You consumed the Covington. He seemed awestruck, not all forthcoming. So, what's going to happen to me? After consuming the Covington, I'm surprised you're alive. What? So it is poison. It is poison after all. Somehow, in my gut, I knew it to be true. No, calm down. The fact remains you are alive. What does that mean? That's the truly fascinating question even. It lost whatever potency it had over the years. It never worked quite the way Delier thought it would. It did. Both possible, yes. But you hope for something else, of course. Of course, the potential is... Excuse me? The explanation? I'm trying to explain. The explanation is that this is so unusual and unknown that no one knows what will happen. Not actually information, is it? I can't even tell you with complete certainty what the Covington is. It's all muddled up in fragmented history, lost, retold, obscured. Guess that. So much so that the likelihood that you ate was actually Covington. That Covington actually exists. It's slim. But if it was real, and anything like what our historians thought it would be, you shouldn't be alive. So, as it is, something is off. Something is wrong. Or someone is lying. I would be thrilled were that the case. It was Lacey who declared my spice to be your Covington in the first place. And all the more likely that someone is lying. I don't know, Ernol. His machinations are rarely hollow. He's afforded one misguided and gullible leap into nonsense every now and then. I just read that in the wrong voice. Brilliant. Quite the leap, Covington. What about vibrations? Do you feel like you're underwater? Harren's attention snapped back to me, and we are going to look very quickly at the compendium and end the episode because it's been way too long. Once again. Let's have a look at Ernol first. Ernol Millerose. Some people take strangeness in stride, but others find little worse than being outside the commonplace. That's a long one. Ernol was born in the middle of an interfamily war of wills, an instant pawn in a game he had no interest in playing. His tale is not of overbearing expectation or unforgiving duty, which he craved, but rather an expectation to rebel. He was born to the prodigal son? Prodigal? He was born to the prodigal son, not the demanding general. His more esteemed sons, who enacted, where's the words gone? High stakes, strict rules and perilous demands of their children. There was nothing asked of him, but to revel in the role of an upstart, to bask in the freedom he was offered outside the confines of Gha'alian expectation. Instead, he found himself craving for approval from a Gha'alian. He embraced his father's legacy instead of his father's. He embraced his grandfather's legacy instead of his father's, wishing to be a warrior more than an outcast. He has a blistering temper, indignant pride, and unnerving determination, all of which thoroughly blinded by desperation. That is Ernol Millerose's entry, I guess. And now time for Harren. Harren is a master of capitalizing. He takes the hand he's dealt and makes the most of it, all the while seeming to thrive no matter what way he's forced to adapt. A critic might say it would be easy to roll with punches when your lot in life is wealth, power and infamy. But Harren isn't concerned with justifying his existence. He sees the world in his own particular way, and uses his means to achieve personal goals which other Gha'alians perceive as frivolous or pointless. It's been considered that were Harren to ever set his sights on a larger ambition, he might be a force to be reckoned with, eerily capable of talking, buying, manipulating, bribing, and threatening his way in and out of all manner of things. Perhaps thankfully his concerns have always been personal and self-serving, and that is going to be it for now. That episode went on for way too long, so once again I apologise for that, but we are going to end it there. I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe, it is always free, and I shall see you later.